Yes, guys, welcome back to another show. Thank you for joining us yet again. Got myself and K-Mac here once again, chatting everything about Liverpool Football Club. Got quite a bit to talk about. We've got the Paulinha news, the centre-back news, the we're going to talk about, our first thing we're going to talk about, though, but before I get to it, big up K-Mac. How you doing, man?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Is my mic working? Yeah.
Yeah, your mic's good, man. Your mic's good.
I always have to check now. I'm good.
After that intro, I expect Paul Heyman to say, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, you do. I get it. Big up to everyone in chat. Don't forget to go and smash that like, subscribe button, all that good stuff. Got loads to talk about. First thing we're going to talk about on the agenda today is one Carvalho. So there's news going around today that Liverpool, I think even Fabrizio Romano's mentioned it. I think all the main journalists, you know, the ones you can rely on, have basically mentioned it. Liverpool trying in negotiations to get Carvalho back in January because of lack of playing time. The same goes with Reece Williams and the same goes with Nat Phillips. You know, if you talk to Celtic fans about Nat Phillips, there's nothing nice to say about him apparently. But it's is it the right call, K-Mac, calling these back if they're not getting game time?
I think with the Carvalho one, it is. He's only started 7 games. So he's only started 7. So he started 1 game and played in 7 games. He's only had 150 minutes on the pitch, and he's been played all over the place. Been played like left wing, right wing, and attacking midfield. He's done nothing. Like, he's had 2 shots. That's it. Like, he's not featured at all this season for them. Like, if we're going to get him back, then it's good. It's good cover, or we get him back and we send him on a loan where he'll get more game time.
Yeah.
And the Nat Phillips one, the guy just needs selling. Like,
I don't know why
he's been at the club forever.
Yeah.
He's 26.
Yeah, I don't know why we've kept Nat Phillips so long. I ain't gonna lie, that should have been sold. The Reece Williams
ahead
one,
of him now. Like, comes back.
Yeah.
Quanta's
And
ahead
Reece
of him.
Williams, I've been saying it for a while. I think we don't do the loan system properly. I think we're bad at it. I think we're bad at it because the whole point is you either loan these players out to get experience to come back, or you loan these players out with the will that you want to get their market value up. So if they go somewhere and play 30 or 40 games a season, it increase their market value, and then you can sell them. But we loan people out, we bring them back, and we keep them. Don't do nothing with them. It's like Nat Phillips has been here for so long. He's never going to play for Liverpool. He's never going to be a regular starter. And we just keep loaning him out. You know, have another loan. Just need to let him go, man. We
also rate our players too highly, like price-wise. Like, just because they're at Liverpool doesn't mean they're expensive, like, to buy. Like, they've never played for us, so, you know, they're not they're not Premier League players if they're not playing in the Premier League. So you can't expect like 15, 20 million for Nat Phillips. Like, he's a 5 to 8 million pound player tops.
Like, look, the one that's got value probably at all is probably Carvalho.
Yeah,
and that's probably why they sent him out on loan.
He went to a good club.
Yeah, he went to Leipzig.
He like 4th in the table.
He went to a good European club. We didn't send him to, you know, Falcon Woods United or anything like that. Yeah, like he went to a good European club that played good football and are a good side in Europe and play Champions League football regularly now. You know, they're a decent team, and he can't play. You know what? Didn't Leipzig buy that Simmons guy when they got Carvalho on loan and they played in the same position?
Yeah, and he can't get ahead of him.
And I bet Carvalho was like going there on loan, thinking, right, I'm going to go Leipzig and go play a lot because they play to my strengths and the position I want to play. So I'll go Leipzig. He literally goes, and the next day they go and buy Simmons. He must be like, what's the point? I'm not going to play. And you know, they're not going to play a loan player over someone they're spending 40 million on. So it's just not.
I'm just having a look at the Leipzig team actually, because I'm seeing the players that are in his position. I mean, Timo Werner plays where he plays as well, to be fair. He
I
plays
like
off
Timo.
Danny Olmo, he plays off the wing.
Yeah.
Christoph Baumgartner, they signed him last season, I think. He plays off the wing. Like, yeah, I mean, they got a lot of players that would play where he plays, but yeah, Xabi Simons, he's played 14 games and started 14 games, and he's got 4 goals and 7 assists. Okay, that's why Carvalho can't get in. That guy's on form. He's producing, and he's also like he's also 2 years younger than him. I think he's like 19, isn't he? No, he's 20. Yeah. He's 20 years old, so he's younger than him as well. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, get him back. If he's not playing, get him back. Makes sense.
Now, do you get? I don't know if Carvalho plays for a Premier. Look, I don't know about Carvalho. I just don't see a lot of people saying call him, like if he gets called back, it's good. He'd be a nice addition to the team.
Fulham wanted him.
He ain't going to play. No, he ain't going to play because Liverpool wanted. He got loaned out while Liverpool were having a midfield rebuild. I mean, what does that tell you, everyone?
Yeah,
he's not going to play. It's probably his best position is, left wing off that left. That's where he says he prefers to play. A lot of people think he's a 10, but Carvalho said himself he prefers playing in the left wing area.
I mean, let's be honest, mate. We've got nothing on the left wing right now.
No,
it makes sense.
He could come in and do a bit of business.
Could he do a better job than Diaz right now? I think he could, mate. I'm sorry. I like Diaz, but
you get Carvalho in, you play him left wing. Yeah, I mean, he could. All right, here's one for everyone in the chat. Carvalho could be the thing that opens up Darwin. Darwin likes playing with that sort of like number 10 behind him, that link-up player. Look at Fulham when Mitrovic and Carvalho, they're a great pair. I mean,
7 goals, 10 assists.
And they were a great pair.
Fulham that year.
That's how he likes to play. He likes playing link up with the whoever the forward is. That's what he likes to play. Like, he likes to start in that left and drift in. That's the way we play. Like Diaz plays on the left, but he drifts in. Is Carvalho going to be any worse at this moment in time? It's a weird one because Liverpool calling him back because he ain't getting playing time, but he's not going to get playing time at Liverpool because that's the reason he got loaned out. So Liverpool have they got a club for him? Have they got already? Is something already happening in the works? And that goes to the Paulinha thing. So David Lynch, is it David Lynch?
David Lynch.
He said today that the rumours about Paulinha to Liverpool are not true, even though what things you've been reading, as far as he's concerned, they're not true. But we've got to remember with David Lynch, the problem is he gets stuff that's filtered from the club. Like he said, Henderson's not going nowhere in the summer as well because he gets what's filtered down from the club. So if the club are telling him what he wants to know and he just puts it out there, same with James Pearce. These people, they just get what's filtered out. Now, Liverpool are looking to get Carvalho back. Maybe they've already got another loan deal lined up for him in January where he can go, because I don't understand the point of bringing someone back on loan because they're not getting game time to then come to a club where he's not going to get game time. Unless they got something lined up for him already, man. That's all I can think.
And the thing about it as well is Klopp going to forgive him? Because Klopp holds a grudge against players, and he didn't like Carvalho. For whatever reason, he doesn't like Carvalho. Is he going to forgive him? We can't do much worse on the left-hand side, if I'm honest, mate. Like, we are absolutely toothless down there. We really are. Everything in this team now is lopsided on the right. Like, nothing goes down the left in games. Like, it just doesn't, because he just cuts back. He just cuts back in.
Yeah, exactly. Trent Szoboszlai Salah is so strong on the right. They're so strong on the right. And then on the left, you're looking at Tsimikas, whoever plays on the left, and then Diaz. And it's just a sort of bit,
It's normally Gravenberch now.
Yeah,
like, you got nothing on the left hand side in our team now. So I don't know. I mean, he's not going to put Gapco there because he just hasn't put Gapco there for whatever reason. That's his natural position, but he just doesn't want to put Gapco on the left hand side for love or money.
Klopp does do that. As much as we all can love Klopp and all that, I think what does annoy fans the most that he does like to play players out of position sometimes. I just don't understand the only thing I can feel like is that Liverpool feel like he will be better off coming back to Liverpool and just training with Liverpool than would be staying at Leipzig. But if then that was the case, then why would you loan him out in the first place if you felt like that? So they must have something lined up. There must be, because they're negotiating with Leipzig, so there's negotiations going on with Leipzig to get him back early because there was no release clause. Yeah, there was no release clause in his year contract. So there must be something cooking in the background.
Someone might have said we're interested in signing him. I know we probably don't need the money, but I don't know. It's an interesting one. We are light on the left though. It's pretty obvious, so yeah, maybe.
I've been saying it for a while now.
That's a really good shout, by the way. Someone's just put that in the chat. Carvalho cash for Paulinha.
Yeah, but then
they want 70 million. They want 70 million for Paulinha. It's not 55. They want 70, and they've got every right to demand that because Bayern Munich were going to pay.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to pay 70 million for him though. Even Bayern Munich.
But that's an interesting shout. Paulinha and Carvalho. They like Carvalho. They'd love him back.
Yeah, Carvalho is well thought of at Fulham. And he would do a job at Fulham actually.
He would.
Here's a Here's a pondering.
Well, they're playing William there at the moment, mate. He's like 39.
Yeah, so but William, to his fairness, has done quite a good job.
He does a good job,
But yeah, it would be a good shout, Coutinho back there. Carvalho. Here's a pondering question though, right? So a lot of people are saying that Liverpool won't pay the money for someone like Paulinha because he's almost 28. So Liverpool, it's not in our metrics to buy someone of that age, yeah. But we are very happy re-signing people to new contracts when they're over 30. So
we just signed a 30-year-old, by the way.
Yeah, and we just signed Endo as 30. So what is it? People keep saying even I've said it. I've said it multiple times. I don't think Liverpool will do it because no matter how much he costs, he's 27, and it's not in the model. Our model is not 27. It's like 19 to 25. That's where we're looking at. We're not looking at 27-year-olds. And if anyone's just watching this right now and thinking what we're chatting about, this is football related, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing right. But yeah, they're not looking at 27-year-olds, but he turns 29 and someone says 28 now. This is a lot of money on a 28-year-old. It's a lot of outlay. 70 million is a lot of outlay. That's the way they will look at it. But then they will re-sign a 30-year-old to a new deal. Jurgen, right, so, like Joel Matip right now, yeah. So what I'm hearing is that Klopp wants Matip to get a new contract. FSG don't. It's the same with James Milner. Klopp wanted James Milner to have a new contract. FSG didn't. Klopp wanted Henderson to have a new contract a few years ago. The owners didn't. And I remember that as well. I remember the outcry when Henderson's contract was up because we just won the Premier League and everyone was going, how can FSG let Henderson's contract run out? People going mad about it. And then a year later, everyone's slagging Henderson off and FSG for signing him up again. So you can't win. I think Liverpool just need to sort out what they want. Now, if Liverpool come out and say, look, we're not going to buy any players no more that are 25 and over. That's not what we're looking at anymore. We're going for players between 19 and 25 with a certain skill set, certain ability, blah, 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 blah. And they come out and tell us that's their model now. No more players. We will not buy a player no more over the age of 25. It don't matter what his name is, how good he is. It's our model. This is what we're trying to do. But it don't seem that way, does it, came out? Because, as you said, we did buy Endo, who's now 30, and we do re-sign players over the age of 30. So I do think it's a little bit confusing, don't you?
Yeah, I do. The interesting thing about it, I'm trying to bring his stats up. Just give us 2 seconds, and I will now. It's not. Look, if I'm a football club and I'm looking at a player, yeah, I'm not looking at the. I'm not. Klopp won't be looking at players at the age. He'll be looking at players at the amount of games and the amount of match time they played in their careers. Because remember, it's all about fitness. It's all about work ethic. It's all about, how many yards you've done in your legs. Because Klopp burns his players out quickly after a number of years. Normally, probably about 5, maybe 5 to 7. That's what it seems to be. I'm just looking at Paulinha. Paulinha didn't really start playing football till he was 23, when he started playing 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's done. Okay, so when he was at Braga, this is kind of where he came onto the scene. 17 starts when he was 23, 24 starts when he was 24, 28 starts when he was 25, 23 starts when he was 26, 35 at Fulham, and 12 this season. Paulinha hasn't got that much game time in his legs. I know he's a 28-year-old, but he's not. Like, game time in his legs, he's probably a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's also the same with Endo, by the way. Endo's probably a 27-year-old in his game time in his legs. Like, we seem to have this mantra in our heads that, like, when we get a player, they've always played every single game. Like, they just haven't. Like, it's only the players under Klopp that have played every single game.
Yeah, if you're buying a 30-year-old from Liverpool, they're dead.
He's dead.
That's the difference. Like Henderson at 30. His legs were gone at 30. It's just, they feel like they're 30. Where, as you say, like a lot of these players, maybe they are 30, 28, 29, but they're quite fresh still. They're still quite fresh.
Paulinha's never done a 50-game season. Like, we've got players that have done like 3 50-game seasons.
Big games.
You know what I mean? It's a big difference. And especially in a position like that. So he's a 28-year-old, but not on those legs. And he very rarely gets any injuries. Like, his biggest injury was the shoulder one.
Yeah, and that was
which didn't even keep him out for that long, to be honest.
No, he came back quick from that, which means he's got quick recovery.
The Carvalho and Cash, I like that. Like, I'd like to get him off our books as well, because I just feel like we've really wronged him.
Yeah,
had a hell of a lot of talent, and we just,
yeah, Carvalho. When we signed Carvalho, it did seem like just a weird transfer, because
it was a weird transfer. We don't play 10s. We don't play 10s. Don't sign one.
He ain't quick enough to play as a winger for Liverpool. Klopp wants quick. The reason Cody Gakpo don't play left wing is because he's not quick enough. It's the whole reason he doesn't play left wing. Klopp, like, he wants quick wingers, and I do think we've lost a little bit of pace in the forward areas, and I do think that's why we are looking at another forward. But with Carvalho, the Carvalho thing's just calling back. You're calling him back. You must have something lined up for him, because he's not going to get any more game time if you call him back. So he ain't going to play for Liverpool. Also, I don't know what the rules around of playing a player that you're meant to have loaned out for a year. I don't think Liverpool can actually play him.
No, I think he can't play for 2 clubs, can't play for 2 clubs in 1 year.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, the rules are strange and all that sort of stuff. So I don't know if he can, because he was registered to Liverpool at the beginning of the season, and then he was loaned and then registered to Leipzig. He can't. I don't know if he then could be re-registered for Liverpool. So that means he wouldn't play. So that means he'd be just training. So what's the point? You might as well just keep him at Leipzig. He'll at least play the odd game here and there. So they must have something lined up. They must have something lined up for him in the future. But that the Paulinha stuff. The Paulinha stuff's interesting, man. See, I'm on right. I'm going to put this to the chat because even people in the chat are saying it right now, and a lot of people online talk about this as well. All I ever see on a daily thing, I've seen it about 50,000 times a day on Twitter, is that people keep going, if we get Paulinha, we win the league. Simple as that, right? So I'll put it to everyone right now. Liverpool do get Paulinha, but they don't win the league. Who are you guys blaming?
You can blame me because I think we'll win the league if we get him.
I'm just sort of right. Everyone is like, it's like everyone's seen the future. It's like they got their glass ball there and they're just like, oh, I see Paulinha. Oh, I see a Premier League trophy. Oh, I see. Oh, he's like, so, and everyone's so like, oh, we get Paulinha. That's it. Job done. Liverpool winning everything. But if Liverpool, I'm just putting it to everyone here in the chat. Everyone is listening to this. If Liverpool get Paulinha, right, in January, and we're like, oh my God, right, and everyone's like, right, that's it, league's done, we've got the DM we needed, but we don't win the league, who are you blaming? Because FSG got the player you guys all wanted. Who are you blaming?
I'm probably going to blame the manager because he has played players when they didn't need to be played a lot this season. And it's kind of concerning now that you're playing Salah like in games that Salah doesn't need to be played in. Like the whole Matip thing. Yeah, Matip's injury was really freak. Gary Lineker, yeah.
But also, by the way, guys, I wouldn't blame anyone because I'm not thinking like that. Before I let carry on, I'm not thinking like that. So I'm not one of these fans who think get Paulinha in the league's won. I did a video the other day saying I think Liverpool can win the league without buying a DM. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. It's just my beliefs that we could. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I don't, nothing's a guarantee in life. But so many Liverpool fans on Twitter, on your socials, in other YouTube, even some Liverpool fan YouTube channels, out there are going, by Paulinha, the league's won. And I'm just saying, like, you're so confident about it. If it doesn't, who are you blaming? Because you go blame FSG if we don't buy anyone in January. Everyone is going to blame the owners if we don't buy anyone in January, right? And but if we did buy Paulinha in January, these same people will still blame the owners all the time. And it's driving me mad. I don't blame anyone. At the end of the day, if you're not good enough to win the league, you're not good enough to win the league. It don't matter who you got in your team. Liverpool had a 97-point season, a 92-point season. Yeah, I didn't blame. I can't really blame. I can't really blame Klopp, and I can't really blame the owners for not winning the league because they got to a point. It's just mad.
Insane.
You can go back in the season and go, all right, if we didn't draw that game here, we didn't draw that game there. If we were a bit unlucky in that game, the referee was unlucky in that game. But then other fans can say that about Liverpool as well. So, yeah, the blame game's got to stop. Sometimes we're just not good enough. It don't matter who we buy. It's as simple as that. But go on, Cayman.
I'm just reading the chat. There's some really good stuff in there, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I would. Okay, I'll be a bit more realistic. He gives us better chances to win the league. He gives us a better chance.
Yeah.
I would say like the Matip injury is a concern. Like for me, that's a concern because he's a player that was always going to play the big games next to Verge, and now you're playing another player, which is Canate, as your next player, which wasn't going to be your big player, so to speak. And you can always rely on Matip for the big games as well. I think that's a big miss because then you're now giving more games to a Kwanzaa, who for me shouldn't be probably playing as many games as he will. And the whole playing him against Palace kind of proved the point as well because you threw him in the deep end at a team away and he gave away a penalty. I know, he had a good game to be fair, but he did get subbed off, and I suppose rightly so because how can you not play Canate when he won 15 out of 15 headers in the Sheffield United game the game before? So you bring him on because basically they were going at Quansah for the headers because Quansah won 1 out of 5 headers in the first half. So he was losing the header battle against Edouard and was it Mateta? Mateta, yeah, Mateta, big lad, big lump. So, you know, Paulinha, it's a great midfielder to have who can play in that defensive role, which means that maybe you can use Endo a bit less. Maybe you can use Endo as a defensive cover. Maybe you can use him as right back cover. You know, it's just having those options. And I feel like we probably are one player light in midfield who does more defensive work than offensive work, because I don't think Gravenberch is good enough yet to play as many games as he has. I don't know why he's not picking Curtis Jones, but he just isn't. And now you've got McAllister, who looks like he's got a knee injury. Like, that's what it looks like. You know, he's got a knee brace, he's on oxygen, and he's had blood drained from it. That's not a cut. So are we going to miss him for the next 2 games? So, you know, we're looking a little bit light now.
Yeah, it looks like McAllister's got... So, I think with McAllister, because where the cut is on his knee, it's like I think it's like on the fold or the hinge of your knee. And it's only 2 stitches he had in that, by the way. It might sound mad, it's only 2 stitches. But the thing is, you know, if it's here and you're doing that constantly, then it's going to keep opening up. And I think that's why he's got the knee brace on it. And by the look of it, it's swollen. I think that's why they're draining blood out of it.
Is it on the side?
Yeah, I think it's right on the side. So,
how is that not a red card?
Well, I know. I look back on it and it's like,
didn't get a yellow. Didn't get
most
booked.
blatant red card I've ever seen, by the way. Most blatant red card I've ever seen. And by the way, talking about red cards, because Palace fans keep saying they got robbed against Liverpool because their bloke got sent off. By the way, the defender that took Curtis Jones, but when Salah scored, was already on a yellow card.
Ward.
Yeah, and should have got a second yellow card. So
they would have been on 9 men if he hadn't scored, and it would have been a penalty.
Yeah, so let's not talk about robberies anymore, shall we? It's silly.
Yeah.
Look, I think signing someone like a Paulinha gives Liverpool a better chance. There's no doubt about it. And anyone who disagrees with that's mad. But all I'm saying is, it's the way people are going like it's a guarantee that we're just going to smoke the league if we get Paulinha in.
I mean, if we get like Mbappe, yeah.
You all got Paulinha.
Yeah, I got to say that, yeah.
You know, and people like this, then I'm looking at it and thinking, right, you know,
or Kane.
You know, but yeah, look, if we had Kane instead of Darwin Nunez right now, we wouldn't be talking about it again. I'm just putting that out. Right, let's put that out right now. I'm going to put this right out now. If we had Harry Kane instead of Darwin Nunez right now, I'm going to tell everyone in the chat right now, if we had Harry Kane instead of Darwin Nunez, how many points clear of the Premier League would we be right now? How many points clear? Because
I reckon 6 or 7, if I'm honest.
Would we be crying about a DM if Darwin put his chances away a little bit more?
Nope. Tell you what, the way Bayern Munich are going, we might have a chance with Harry Kane.
I think I'm going look. A lot of pressure is coming on our midfield this season. Yeah, if you go back and look at every game we played this season, the midfield ain't been the issue. Our forwards are not taking their chances.
Yep.
Now people might say, "Oh, it's nonsense, Jamie, because look how many goals we scored." A lot of goals have come from our midfield this season, and fullbacks and stuff like that, and centre backs.
We're number 1 goal scorers from outside the box this season, by the way.
Yeah.
And we've also scored 14 goals this season after the 70th minute.
Yeah, it's just...
And they're from midfield, most of them.
I just look at it and think, I think our forwards, none as the German league is so in prep. Yeah, but Colin, Harry Kane was getting 30 goals a season in the Premier League, to be fair, Colin. I know what you're saying, like he's lining it up, but look at the chances.
I mean,
if Kane was on the end of every single chance Darwin's had this season, how many goals is Harry Kane getting?
I think Harry Kane's like 5th or 6th goal scorer in the Premier League, isn't he? He's like behind Rooney, isn't he, or something? He's really, really high up in the Premier League, like all-time goal scorer. I'm not having that. Like, if he'd stayed at Tottenham, he would have broke Shearer's record.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if Harry Kane, big up Sam Max Legend in the house as well. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. So we don't find specialist DM, we won't win anything. Sam, I'll put it to you as well. If we had Harry Kane instead of Darwin Nunez right now, and he took all the chances Darwin has missed, Harry Kane would probably score. We'd be more clear at the top of the league right now because we would have beaten Luton, so that's an extra 3 points. Some of the draws, Harry Kane would have probably scored in them games. Are we talking about a DM then? Are we looking at it and going, we need a DM bad if we're like 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League? So I do look at our team, and I don't think the midfield is a much of an issue. I think the forwards are getting away with it. I think the forwards are really getting away with it. But that don't mean I don't think we not need a DM. We do need a DM. It's just I don't think it's a guarantee if we get a DM in. Really don't, because does Paulinha come in? If Paulinha played against Luton, it's probably still a draw. Does he cut out the goal that Luton scored? I don't know, because of the way we play. This is another factor you got to put into it. You've got to put in the factor of the way we play as well. Can Paulinha play at high speed with a high line and counter pressing? This is another factor you've got to put into it. He's going to be left isolated at times with a real high line behind him. We're not going to drop back because we get a Paulinha in. That ain't going to happen. We'll be. In fact, if we got Paulinha, we'd be pushing up higher. So, we'd be pushing up higher. They'd be really squeezing up the pitch, trying to control midfield. So, it's just. The way people just think it's a guarantee is the thing I'm saying. I think it improves us.
I was kind of there as well, if I'm honest.
It improves us.
I kind of convinced myself.
The whole guarantee thing, I just don't see it because, Arsenal got 3 DMs, and it's not even a guarantee for them. They've got Rice, Partey, and what's his name? The Italian geezer, Jorginho. Yeah. They got 3 DMs. Jorginho, and it's still not a guarantee for them either.
Yeah.
So, Man City, I'm not sure.
Can I just say something on Nunez? Because I was thinking about this because I've done a couple of shows now talking about Nunez, and everyone thinks I'm like proper hating on him, but
none of us are.
The question I've got, okay, and this is what I've been thinking about. Nunez has missed a lot of chances. Okay, we know that, we can see that, but we're all sat there going, well, do we win against teams if Nunez scores those chances? And that's a fair point. Like last season, he missed chances where we would have beat like a Chelsea or a Manchester City and teams like that, like at home, and that would have made a big difference. But the difference this season with him missing the chances is he's missing the chance, which puts us 2-0 up, which makes the game comfortable, which means we can then rest players. We can then take some guys off. We can then rotate the team a bit more. We can then relax a bit more. So we're not and we're not at this stage where it's like the 80th minute and it's still 1-0. Like, this is the difference in a player that scores those goals it has on the team, because we've been really, really high pressured all season because we've got a goal down, then we've got a goal, then we've got an equaliser, and then we've scored maybe another, or we've got a chance and we haven't scored it because of Nunez. And this affects the team as a whole because we're not resting players or we're not relaxed in the game because at the end of the day, Luton, we could have been 2-0 up in the first half. Crystal Palace, we could have been 2-0 up in the first half. You know what I mean? Games like that, we could be up earlier and the game's over because Nunez has done his job by scoring his goals. And it's not a fact of like, he could have scored the one that won the game. He could have scored the goal that settled the game, like early on. And that's what I'm saying. So it is affecting us, not specifically on points, but it's affecting us as a whole team. the way we play, like the way the team is, and that's what I was trying to get. That's what I was thinking about, and that's what I was trying to get across about the fact that we could do with a striker that scores goals like that. Because there's so many games where we've been all over them, and we just miss chances. Like, and I'm not just blaming Nunez for that as well. Salah could have done that as well a number of times this season.
That's what I'm saying. It's all our forwards this season. You know, I know Salah's top goal scorer. I know Salah's top goal scorers, but the forwards have been. I don't think all the forwards have been that great this season. You know, I really don't. I think, you know, it's just not Darwin. I think all of them are, you know, not performing to the level they are. I think Diaz gets away with murder. I really do. I think there's too many excuses for Luis Diaz constantly. Darwin, look, one thing I would say about Darwin Nunez, you know, if he's not scoring goals, he's doing well in other areas of the pitch. But as I keep saying, that's all good. But he's meant to be a striker at the end of the day. And, you know,
his numbers are insane, you know. Like, his numbers are like Messi numbers. Like, you know, the amount of shots he has and the amount of chances and all of that stuff. Like, his numbers are just nuts. He just needs to score.
Yeah, I think I've got a feeling if Darwin scores tomorrow, because he's playing tomorrow, apparently Klopp just said. So if Darwin scores tomorrow, that might give him a bit of a confidence boost. If that gives him a confidence boost, he might score against United, then he might score against West Ham in midweek, and then he might score against Arsenal. And then we're sitting there going, well, that's more like it now. Carry that on. Do that for the rest of the season. Let's see. But I can't guarantee it. Like, I can't guarantee what everyone on Twitter thinks. So I'm just reading some things off Twitter that really, it just drives me mad. So there is one thing, right? So someone's put, so with the recalls of Williams, Phillips and Carvalho on the cars, it's now looking very unlikely that Liverpool will spend in January. Yes, top of the league, but what history has taught us is to build on that. We didn't do it in the past, and it's still like sight we're having making bad choices again. FSG need to change the mould and quickly. Right. It's not John W. Henry ain't recalling these three players, by the way. I don't know what everyone. People don't. People understand how football teams work. The owner doesn't control what happens. You employ chairmen, you employ CEOs, you employ other people to run football clubs. FSG got 23 members. 23 members, guys. You know, it's
You've also got a loan manager, by the way.
It's just gets them.
I think Richie Partridge is our loan manager.
Just gets on my absolute tits.
Blame him.
And someone saw the future. Apparently, someone saw the future. So someone commented underneath this about, you know, that post and said FSG and Klopp have cost Liverpool a minimum of 2 titles and another Champions League because they saw the future. They saw the future. How do they know?
If anything, again, FFP have. Not FSG, FFP.
And again, I will go. When we finished on 97 points, was it FSG's fault that we finished on 3 points off 100 and still didn't win the Premier League? No, it weren't. It was no one's fault. It was just unlucky. We finished on 92 points. Again, a point behind City on the final day of the season. Was it FSG's fault they didn't win the Premier League? No, it wasn't. It was just unlucky. And
we took both games to the final game, by the way.
Yeah,
like we took both of those seasons to the final game. Like, that's insane. Like, it's insane.
It's just mad. And I'm not sticking up for the owners in any kind of way.
It's just unfortunate that Man City are around right now.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that Pep Guardiola is around. Like, because if he wasn't, then we'd be clearing up.
So the 2 times, yeah, exactly. The 2 times we finished on monstrous points would have won a Premier League any other year. You know, and that's the 2 chances that we missed on, really. The 97 point and the 92 point season. And then that's 3 Premier Leagues. It's just unlucky. There's no one to blame. I can't go and blame FSG because we finished on 97 points and 92 points. Who you go by that just makes that 1 point difference up? You know, it's just silly. It's just silly. We can't always blame the owners for being unlucky. Are the owners to blame in other times? Yeah, I'm not saying they ain't. You know, when we needed a centre back and they didn't get one in, that was the owner's fault. Even Klopp said it. So they're not. But to keep going at them all the time,
like Diaz.
It's just it don't make sense. It don't make sense. This guarantee thing's got to stop. People, please just stop the guarantee stuff. Nothing's a guarantee in life. And the thing is, though, people would be like, if we didn't, like everyone who's saying it's a guarantee, if we get Paulinha will win the Premier League, and then it didn't happen, people would be like, oh, what happened there? I tweeted it 3 months ago that it's a guarantee. Why hasn't it happened? Because it's football. Things happen. It's mad. It's just.
I mean, did we think Matip would get an injury like that? Like that could end his career, like that injury, and that was literally on the sidelines. Wasn't even on the pitch.
Oh my God! I've just seen the worst tweet of all time. Someone's just put, imagine Todd B's war chest and Klopp. Oh, for fuck's sake. Have you seen the shit Todd Bowley's bought?
They're going to end up relegated this year.
This is what I'm talking about. Have you seen the trash Todd Bowley has bought with Chelsea? They're going through managers because no manager can run this team because they buy players that the manager don't want. Oh my!
Have you seen Mudryk? That was 100 million.
It's just mad. It's just mad. Big up Tony says, well, high points or not, it's still one title in 13 years under FSG. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Tony, 97 points is unlucky. Who do you blame for Liverpool finishing on 97 points? Or is it just unlucky? Who do you blame for Liverpool finishing on 92 points? Or is it just unlucky? Sometimes we can't blame the owners because of one title. Did anyone blame the owners for all the other years? This is what I don't get. People with FSG agendas, will always go one title in 33 years. And I'm like, FSG have only been here 13 years. Who are you blaming for the rest? And Liverpool have always spent money. And they've never won the Premier League. They've only won the Premier League once in 33 years. So who are we blaming? When Rafa Benitez had that amazing side, we didn't win a Premier League. We had Mascherano, Alonso, Gerrard and Sissoko in midfield. We had Fernando Torres up front. We had Ipia and Carragher and Agger and Rayner and all that at the back. Steve Finnan was a great right back. Still didn't win a Premier League. Actually, didn't win anything.
No, we didn't.
It's just like...
That was crazy. We didn't win anything for them, by the way.
We've had amazing teams and sometimes it's just crap. It don't work.
And Man United had Nicky Butt.
And Man United had players like Nicky Butt.
And Wes Brown,
John O'Shea, them Brazilian brothers that were terrible. Yeah, they had players like that, Darren Fletcher, and they're still winning Premier Leagues. Steve Bruce, and they're still winning Premier Leagues. I mean, David May. It's just like
David May.
It's just. And if you look at it under what's happened under FSG? And I'm not picking up FSG. People just
Overton. They had Overton.
Yeah, Overton. It's
just they had some proper dross.
Ronnie Johnson, to his fairness, was actually
quite good.
He was actually a decent defender.
He was quite good.
But yeah, if you look at Liverpool under FSG, got the biggest Anfield stadium we've had in over 70 years. And we stayed at Anfield. We've got a brand new training facility, The Melwood has now been given to the women. So the women have now got a world-class training facility.
That's brilliant.
So make them better. We've won the Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, the League Cup twice, the Super Cup and the European Club Championship, the World Club Championships, which by FIFA is an official trophy. So it goes on your honours list. So we won everything.
And we've been in loads of finals.
And then we've been up against cheating scum from Manchester with 115 charges against their name.
We've been in loads of finals, by the way. Loads of finals. So it's not like we haven't been competing. We've literally got to the final, like in all of those competitions a number of times.
Yeah,
Like
it's just
we've been to the
unlucky.
Champions League final 3 times under Klopp.
3 times in 5 years.
And
We
that's
won one of them,
insane.
and we
That's
won one of them.
insane.
And we can't blame the owners for not winning them trophies because we got to the final. You know, we got to the final of these competitions, and at the end of the day, a final's a final. You know, it's one game in 90 minutes, and something you got a team's got to lose and a team's got to win. Yeah, and it's just unlucky that Liverpool didn't win them games. Look at the Real Madrid game in the last Champions League final we was in. We completely battered them. Yeah, the keeper had the game of his life, and our strikers just weren't on form. They just kept shooting at the goalkeeper. You know, you put one of them an inch different side of the goalkeeper, you're talking about we win that game. So it can't be always blamed, but it can't always be blamed.
Like we played every single game possible 2 seasons ago. Like literally every single game you could play. We nearly did the quadruple 2 seasons ago. Like we nearly did the impossible. Like
Yeah,
that's not, you can't blame FSG for that. You blaming FSG for that? We got to every single final that year. Every single final that year. Like seriously.
It's mad. You don't do that under good ownership, by the way, guys.
Great ownership.
You don't do what Liverpool have been doing under poor ownership. You know, you just don't. You have to have good ownership to be able to achieve these things. Now, people will say, yeah, but they took the loans against Liverpool to build the stands. Okay, they did, yeah, but they still did it. At least they built the stands. And they didn't take the loans to fill their own pockets or go to their mates like the Glazers are
like
doing.
Someone else.
Take dividends out. At least they built the stands. And did they do it the right way? Probably not, because it did limit us in the transfer market a little bit. But if it's going to help for long-term growth, then fine. You know, the stadium, AXA built that. This is the problem people have. Oh, the owners didn't actually build that stadium, that training complex. AXA did. So, and you know, when what people need to understand is that they built this club commercially to a high level that these sponsors are willing to build stuff for us and fund it. Right? That's beautiful. What's wrong with that?
We're sponsored by Nike. Like
yeah,
Nike
I don't get the hate all the time. I really don't. Should they buy more players to Liverpool? Yeah. Do I always think it's FSG's fault? No. I think the manager has a lot to say. But I think if the manager wants a player, he'll get a player, in my opinion. You know, the only 2 players I can think that Klopp never got was Tchouaméni and Bellingham. In the whole
and that
time
was nothing
under
to do with the owners. They just wanted to play for Real Madrid.
And Liverpool actually put a bid in for Tchouaméni, because Klopp's even mentioned it himself. We went for a defensive midfielder. He chose Real Madrid. And then the Jude Bellingham thing, I think, was a mess up from the club, because they should have tried to do that maybe 12 months before. So I do, you know, I can blame them a little bit for that. But then he chose Real Madrid as well. And I do think Jude Bellingham, I do think Jude Bellingham played Liverpool, by the way. And I think some fans can't hack the truth with that. I do think Bellingham played Liverpool like a fiddle. You know, taking all these pictures of Henderson and Trent. He knew what he was doing. He knew Real Madrid. You're telling me he knew he? Do people actually think he weren't talking to Real Madrid all that time? Like that deal was done in 5 minutes or something. He was talking to Real Madrid for months. Come on.
Did I tell you the story about my mate who plays football with his dad?
Yeah.
And
go on. No, sorry, go on.
So my mate, I used to work with him. He lives up in Birmingham, and he plays like 7-a-side, like amateur football, and he plays with Jude Bellingham's dad, in this pro league thing anyway. And he even said, Jude Bellingham's dad has always said his son's going to play for Real Madrid. Like he's never ever said he's going to Liverpool.
No,
never said it. Well. Always said he's playing for Real Madrid. Like that is his trajectory. Like he's got a set thing of what he wants him to do, and that was the next one, Real Madrid. And he felt like him going to Borussia Dortmund is one of the best chances he's got to go from a top German club over to Real Madrid, because they take a lot of German players, because they watch Toni Kroos basically the way he progressed into Bayern Munich and then went to Real Madrid, and they kind of just wanted to follow the same footsteps, and it's worked. Has it not? Like David Alaba, like all of the amount of players that Real Madrid signed from Germany, and also Barcelona do the same as well with Ter Stegen and some of their German players, some players that they've signed as well. It's a good route, and he felt like that was the best option, and it worked. He scored again as well, by the way, in his last game.
Yeah. Exactly. Right, he's just talking to Madrid
I think he's going to break their record. Like
he's already, he's going.
Like it's insane.
He's talking around Madrid for months. He's transferred. That's what in transfer. People don't think that, man. Remember, we're not Tottenham bottlers who celebrate finishing second. We don't do that here. Yeah, but someone's got to finish second, Bruno. It's just a fact of life. Like we can compete, but still finish second. That don't mean we're not trying at the same time. If Liverpool finishing second, you look at the times Liverpool finished runners up to Man City. We competed against Man City. We just didn't get over the line because of something that might have happened in the season, a bit of unluckiness. So if you look at the times we have finished runners up to Man City, no one can sit here and say we didn't compete with them. So we did compete with them. We just got unlucky. How can you can't finish second in the Premier League and finish on 97 points and say we're not competing with them. You can't finish second in the Premier League again against them and finish on 92 points and say you weren't competing against them. You can't win a Champions League and say you're not competing. We're competing this year. Other teams are very good as well. We've got to remember this. Arsenal are a very good side. Man City last season were probably the most elite side in world football. I think that's, I'm not quite sure now. I think Real Madrid are back up there with them. So if you don't win, I'll tell you my issue. If Man City don't win the Premier League this year, that'll be when I start complaining a little bit, because this is the year, the year Liverpool win the league, Man City couldn't compete with us on that level on the field. We just outplayed them. We're just too good. No other team has really gave it to Man City the last 8 years apart from Liverpool. Chelsea, I don't think Chelsea, I think Chelsea have only finished above Liverpool once in the Jurgen Klopp era.
It's true.
I think once. And all the money Chelsea have got and all the money Chelsea have spent, they've only finished above Liverpool once in the Jurgen Klopp era, I believe. Maybe twice at the most. And you think about how much money they have spent under Roman, Todd, and everyone. And
Billions.
they would say they were competing. So
I think this year, though, I do think we've got a really, really high possibility. Like everything's kind of fell in our favour. Like Man City are having a bit of a meltdown. Arsenal, I still don't think Arsenal are there. Man United are nowhere. Chelsea are nowhere. Tottenham, they won't do nothing. Aston Villa, they'll probably fall off eventually. If they lose a striker, then they haven't got goals. I feel like we're at a really, really good moment where this team, which isn't a finished article by any chance, we're still missing a few pieces. I think we've got a fantastic opportunity. If we beat Man United and Arsenal, it's like a 30-40% chance of winning the league, because we'll be clear by a few points, and we've got all the big teams at home.
Yeah,
not away.
This is why I feel like we can win the league this year.
Yeah.
I don't think we have to. I don't even know if we have to buy anyone to do it. Tony says again, though, Chelsea one title, Liverpool one title in the 8 year Klopp has been here. Exactly, but how much money have Chelsea spent in that time compared to Liverpool? So
I think we need one or two players, mate.
This is and this is what I'm talking about. Competing. What is everyone's version of competing? What is everyone's version of competing? Is it how much money you spend, or how bad or well you spend it? This is what I need to know. What do people see as competing? Is it how much money you spend on the transfer market and the players you get in, or is it how well you spend the money? Because let me tell you this: in one summer, Liverpool turned around their whole midfield and are now competing for the Premier League title this season. Chelsea are in 12th. Going through manager after manager after manager. Will probably sack Poch after Christmas. It's like, what do you need to, what's competing? You've got to remember what we're up against as well. It's a different world now. Look at what we're up against. You're playing against a state-owned football club that can do whatever they want. They're state-owned. They want Haaland. No problem. No problem. Real Madrid couldn't afford Haaland. The money Haaland's on is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Yeah, his transfer fee was really low because of his buyout clause. But the transfer fee
signing on fee was like 20 million.
He's signing on
Seriously,
20 million on his own. His wages are $1 million a week. Do you see how much money his dad's on? Do you see the agent fees in place? It's a £200 million transfer. He got him for 50 million, but it's a 200 million.
I think it was 250 million pound in total.
You're competing against a state-owned football club. In my opinion, I think Liverpool have done bloody well to compete with a state-owned football club. Because you think about it, Liverpool have competed with Man City, who are state-owned, Chelsea, who had Roman Abramovich at the end of the day, who had more money than God, and then you got Todd Bowley as well, who spent £1 billion in 12 months. Yeah, so Liverpool competing with them. Newcastle, state-owned, they got money now. Liverpool competing with them. Arsenal's owners are richer in FSG, right? And we're competing with them. In one calendar year,
Aston Villa's and Tottenham's owners have got more money than Liverpool FC's as well, by the way.
So we're competing.
And so is Brighton's, and so is Brentford's, by the way, and so is Fulham's. Like we aren't the highest. We haven't got the owners who've got the most money in the Premier League by far. The thing about that as well, when you mentioned we came second,
that's a good point as well.
We came second. And then we got to a Champions League final. So we did use the route that we had to get into another competition to win a competition or to compete in another competition. We didn't just come second and then just go, oh, you know what? Yeah, we didn't come second, so we feel sorry for ourselves. No, we went full throttle into another competition, which we qualified for because we came second and won it. And then got to the finals. So we're doing the best what we can do with what we've got out of the season. And I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. And like Tony says here, talking to Aaron in chat, Liverpool lose every title race they've been in the Premier League era. 2002, Arsenal 2009, United 2014, City 2019, City 2022, 2020, Liverpool blitz the league and win it. Do you know the mad thing about the 2020 season when Liverpool won the league? They didn't buy anyone.
So the year Liverpool, Harvey Elliott and free transfers.
Harvey Elliott and Seth Vandenberg. Harvey Elliott and Seth Vandenberg came in. So Liverpool didn't buy anyone the year Liverpool blitzed the league. That's mad, isn't it? That's just a mad stat. The year Liverpool, because Tony is right when it comes to that sort of thing. We have lost out, right? But the year we didn't buy anyone to improve our team, we won the league. That's mad. That's a mad thing. But, who do we blame for all that, though? At the same time, Tony, who do we blame, man? Who do we blame? Who do you blame for not winning the leagues in them years? Because two of them against City, we finished on 97 points and 92 points. Do we look at the owner, or sometimes do we have to look at the manager?
I don't blame anyone. A few of them, by the way.
Yeah, I really don't blame anyone. I just look at it and think we've got such a points total that we're just unlucky. In fact, I blame the referee for not giving Rodri handball against Everton. Because if he gives that handball, Rodri's off for a red card, which means he don't play the final game of the season, and Everton probably equalise, and we win the league by a point. So it's just, I don't know. It's all ifs and buts. Let's face it.
I'll tell you what, though, there's a couple of Man City decisions in those, isn't there?
I
mean, if there wasn't VAR or goal line technology, then we'd have probably won the Man City game. because that wouldn't have been 6mm.
Yeah, 6mm.
You know what I mean? The technology wouldn't have been there. That would have been given.
Was that the Anfield game?
No, that was at their ground when John Stones.
That was at their ground. 6mm. 6mm. You know, that's what we look at. You go back on that
was
season.
all the way over the line, apart from 6mm. Like, let's just get that right.
So the owners to blame. The owners to blame for 6mm. It's just. I think the owners are to blame for certain bits, and I agree with people. You know, the one that comes to mind the most. The one that comes to mind the most is the centre back crisis a few years back. I think they should have. I think they should have done more. In my opinion, they should have done. They should have got players in my opinion, and still got Canate in the summer. They wanted Canate, but they didn't want to pay the 20 million extra to break his contract in January.
I've got to disagree with that. We had Coletta Carr at the airport, ready to come to Liverpool.
Thank God we didn't get.
You know, the Croatian international that season. We had him ready to sign, and Klopp said no, and then we ended up with bloody some dross.
I am glad we didn't get Carvalho. He isn't. I don't think he's.
He would have helped us. He would have helped us with the defensive crisis.
He would have helped us. Look, but long term, you're looking at him thinking, nah, he's not. I don't even think he's better than Joe Gomez, to be fair. But it's just, that's when they, I think everything was let down now. Klopp wanted Canate because Ralph Rangnick told him go and get Canate, and he's close with Ralph, and so Klopp wanted Canate.
He's told him to get some players, by the way, Ralph Rangnick. He was crap at Man United, but he knows some players.
I want Ralph Rangnick as sporting director. That's who I want. He's great at that job. Ralph Rangnick as sporting director is amazing at his job at doing that. That's who I want. It will be a big FU to Man United as well, because we'll get him in the job that he's actually good at.
Spot on.
Yeah, so I do blame the owners quite a bit. I just don't think if we don't buy anyone this January, I'm not going to blame anyone. I think Klopp might be very happy with the squad he's got and feels like he can do it with this squad. At the same time, I think he does it. Klopp is a lot about harmony in the changing room and stuff like that. It's like a family, ain't it? That's the way he likes it. He don't, unless they're really special and quality, that's the only one. That's the only time we're going to bring someone in. But I personally think all this DM talk, I look at it right now, maybe the more important player to buy this January is a centre back.
Yeah.
Because if they weren't injury prone, I wouldn't be worried because we've got 4 centre backs.
Canate and Gomez.
But Canate and Gomez pick up injuries, especially Canate. I mean, to be fair to Gomez, he doesn't get little injuries. He just gets one massive one.
Twice.
And if you look at what's happened to Gomez, they've always been unlucky. When he slid into the billboards and broke his leg, didn't he? If I remember rightly, a couple of years ago, went on England duty and he got his whole, because was it Foden who smashed him up? And he smashed his kneecap. And they're long ones. He doesn't really. Gomez don't really get these niggling little ones like Canate does. And if Canate and Gomez weren't injury prone, I'd be like, we don't really need anyone because we got Canate, got Gomez, got Kwanzaa, we got Van Dijk. I'm perfectly happy with that. That's fine. We played with 2 centre backs. We've got 4 available. Perfectly happy with that. That's not an issue. But because 2 of them you can't rely on for injuries, that makes it a bit maybe like, we do have to go and get a centre back in. So that'd be what I'm looking at. Everyone in the chat is saying Jonathan Tah. 15 million pound. Apparently he's got a 15 million pound release clause.
No way. I'd rather go and get Hinapache or Inacio. They'll cost less than Paulinha, or even Maxine Lacroix, who plays for Wolfsburg, who basically replaced the guy that went to Van de Ven, who basically took his space in the team. Think about Gomez as well, though. Gomez is right back and left back cover now, so Gomez is actually getting quite a bit of game time. So I wouldn't risk him now, playing him too much. and he's probably going to get played in that game tomorrow now, isn't he? Know me saying that. Think about Pierre Pache as well. He's not actually playing that many games this season. Like he's only started 2 games this season because he can't get in the team past Grimaldo, who they got from, I think it's Barcelona. Was it Barcelona? Grimaldo? Might have been Barcelona. And he's a really good player. He's centre back and left back. I think he'd be ideal. But then you have to look at it as well. We've got Andy Robertson coming back soon. You know,
apparently he's ahead of schedule. They reckon, ain't they? He's doing well.
And you know,
right?
That's going to be like getting a new player. By the way, I know that sounds.
Don't use that term. Everyone's going to come for you now. That's it.
Sounds like a bit of a cliche, but it will be like getting a new player because Andy Robertson has not been the player because he's been knackered for so long, and he's had like 4 months off. Like, hopefully he's been resting and not overdoing it.
Yeah, I mean, look, we got probably in the new year after probably the FA Cup game against Arsenal. By the looks of it, we'll have Thiago back and Robbo back. So Thiago's a big plus.
Possibly Stefan as well.
And Stefan Bajcetic, because he's been going for. Have you seen the size of him lately? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I know he's big.
Yeah, he's gone for growth pains. That's what he's going for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Klopp might be.
I don't think Kone or Thuram's an option, by the way. Someone just wrote Kone. I don't think they're options.
I think Thuram's more likely for Man United once thingy gets that.
He's been injured. He's been injured for a while, Thuram as well. So
Jota's meant to be back for Arsenal, I believe, Aaron, because he's running again now outside, ain't he?
Oh, that's such good news on the left.
I think he's meant to be joining training next week. So yeah, if he's back for the Arsenal game, that'd be great.
That'd be brilliant.
But it's just Klopp might be looking at it and thinking, right, we're doing really well in the league this year. I like McAllister in the 6. It's not a long-term vision, but I like him there right now. I've got Gravenberch just coming in doing a job. Szoboszlai has been fantastic for me so far. I can rely on Curtis. Harvey's doing bits off the subs bench. And I've got Thiago back in the new year and Stefan Bajcetic. So I've got them 2 players back in the new year as well. Do I need to go into the transfer market and get anyone this January for them?
And Endo.
And you've got Endo there, Endo.
I know.
You know, you got Wataru there as well. Who Klopp was speaking about the other day, by the way, very glowingly.
It was, yeah.
So that's a lot of midfielders, guys.
It's the centre back for me.
That's a lot of players.
It's the centre back.
So you're looking at it. The centre back might be the one Liverpool need to do this January. You know, get a centre back in this January, and then I'll probably be happy with that. If
Canate goes down, if Canate gets injured, which he does a lot, by the way, he's never played 20 games a season, by the way. Like, that's just a fact. Like, and if he gets injured, you've got Gomez. Seriously, you have Gomez next to Virgil, and then Quansah. That's it. Like, let's just be realistic here. Is that going to win you the league by having those 2? Because then you're also having to play Virgil every single game, whether it's a shit game or whether it's a top game. Like, every single game. So you're playing Virgil against Burnley. You're playing Virgil against Luton at home because you have to. For me, I think we need a centre back big time. Like, I think it's really important now. And maybe even a left-sided forward, mate. If I'm honest, really,
yeah, I've been saying
it's just toothless on that side. Toothless.
I've been saying we need. I said to Cal, big up Cal from Coppish. I was talking to him yesterday, and I said, I think Liverpool need an attacker because it's a bit dead up front at the moment.
I'm worried about Gapco as well, mate. Does absolutely nothing in the game. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing in the game that he provides now. Like, he's really, really like lackluster. Like, it's Like he's not involved in any play. Like it's really crazy. Like most of his work is just running.
Yeah, certainly. So Bruno said McAllister in 6 doesn't work. I'd love to be proved wrong. I think he was meant to put there. I don't know. I don't know if it don't work because we don't really get beat. We don't really get beat. Now, if you look at Arsenal have lost more games than us. And everyone says they got the best DM in the league at the moment in Rice. So I don't know. I literally don't know. Look, if Liverpool won the Premier League with having McAllister as our number 6, I think there's going to have to be a lot of humble pie being eaten, personally. There is. But I don't know if it don't work. I'm not sure. I think it's more of the way we play. I think it's our style of play that's more of the issue than individual players for me. It
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think it's you look at all the midfielders we got, I think we got a perfect way to play in a double pivot. I mean, you could play McAllister and Trent next to each other in a double pivot. Joe Gomez is right back, and you could play Szoboszlai in the number 10 where he wants to play. You know, and then McAllister and Trent can stretch wide and cover fullback roles in the wide areas of midfield, and Szoboszlai can drop a little bit in that central area, and then you've got a lovely midfield shape there. I think it's more of the way we play at the moment. It's mad, though. It's hard to talk about it because where we are in the league, and we've only lost 1 game in the Premier League. And if you really look at that, if Diaz's goal stood against Tottenham, do we lose that game? Probably not.
No, it's title-winning form, mate. It really is.
This is the thing I do get fed up with, yeah? So Arsenal have got a world-class DM in Declan Rice for me, right? They've also got Thomas Partey and Jorginho, and Jorginho's come in and played games as well, and they keep winning, yeah? This is the thing that irritates me at the moment. Arsenal are not playing well, same as Liverpool, and they're conceding goals, but they're coming back to win games in the last minutes and stuff like that. And the media say that's the form of champions. That's what champions do. When Liverpool do it this season, it's called not sustainable.
Lucky.
Yeah, it's lucky and it's not sustainable. Oh, Liverpool can't carry on with this sustainability.
They've done it 10 times, by the way.
And do you know the team that's only done it more than Arsenal? Us. And we're 14. The top 2 in the league. 14. But for Arsenal, it's title-winning form. That's the thing of champions. Liverpool doing it. Oh, it's not sustainable. This path is not sustainable. But then if you look at the Premier League table and you go to that thing called goals scored and goals conceded, we got more goals scored than Arsenal and we conceded exactly the same. So Liverpool and Arsenal are parallel this season. They're playing pretty similar. They're not playing to the best of their capabilities. They're letting in silly goals and they're coming back from losing positions to win games of football. Yeah. But for Liverpool, it's not sustainable and it's lucky. For Arsenal, it's title-winning stuff. It's the thing of champions. Help it make sense. Big Up 90 says Klopp knows he needs a CDM. Why the F do you think he was going to spend 100 million on one? What the Caicedo thing? That weren't nothing to do with Klopp. That was. Did you not
hear the dig at Caicedo and Lavia in his Q&A?
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Klopp I don't even see.
No, Klopp was going after Lavia. What pissed Klopp off was that Klopp wanted Lavia. That's the DM he wanted, yeah. So they were after the Lavia deal, right? But FSG weren't willing to spend 50 million on Lavia. And right now, I'd say they're right. Yeah, I'd say they're still correct injured. Because he's still injured. He's not playing. So if he doesn't play again this season, he's only had 1 professional season in his career. And I don't blame the club for not paying 50 million for him. So I'm not concerned about that. But Billy Hogan, who's the money man at Liverpool, everyone's got to remember this. Billy Hogan is the CEO of Liverpool Football Club. He is in charge of running our football club, which means he's in charge of finances at our football club. He found the finances to go and buy Caicedo. Don't know where from, by the way, but he found the finances to go and buy Caicedo. He put in a legitimate bidding with Caicedo because it comes up on, if you look at the records, the Premier League saw it was an official transfer, and Brighton CEO has come out and said it's an official transfer. The problem is, because Billy Hogan did it on his own back, one, he didn't speak to the player before he did it to make sure he'd definitely come. And two, he never sent our football director, Big George Schmack, over to set up a medical and talk to the player because George Schmack never knew it was happening. And then we went, and when that deal went south, we went back in for Lavia again, the player Klopp originally wanted. But Lavia was heartbroken because he wanted to go to Liverpool and he wanted to play for Jurgen Klopp, but he felt disrespected because then Liverpool turned their attention to Caicedo. So he went to Chelsea. It's just mad. It's just... And
we got Endo. I'm the top of the league.
Yeah, exactly. and then Endo's been better than Lavia this season and Caicedo. There you go. Oh, man.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. We can see more chances.
I still think we need a centre-back for me.
Yeah, I believe we need a centre-back. Yeah, Sleepy Forest, we concede more chances in Arsenal because we play completely different to Arsenal. We just can play completely different to the way Arsenal play. Arsenal play with a more controlling system. Liverpool don't. Arsenal don't play it. And right, put Gabriel and Saliba in Liverpool's defence and see how much they have to work. They'll be like, what the hell is going on? Put Gabriel, whatever his name is, as the centre-back because he plays in Virgil's position. Yeah, change them around. See how many chances we concede.
Also put their goalkeeper in. See how many goals he saves.
It's the way we play. The reason we play this way is because we have Virgil and Alisson in goal. It's literally the reason we play this way. Because we have them two goalkeepers. We still play the same way with Kelleher in goal, because if you hear what Klopp said about Kelleher the other day, that's why we play this way. He said he was a front-footed goalkeeper. What the fuck does that mean? It means he's happy being a sweeper goalkeeper, which means if Klopp thinks he's a front-footed goalkeeper, like Alisson, a sweeper keeper, it means he can play the same system. That's why Kelleher's here. It's down to the way we play as a team. If Arsenal play, if you put Saliba and Gabriel and all that and Declan Rice in Liverpool's, in the way Jurgen Klopp plays, they will concede as many chances as we do. The fact we don't concede as many goals is because we do have Virgil van Dijk at the back and we have the best goalkeeper in the world in goal. So we are going to concede less. But we play that way for a reason because we want to play risky.
Back in the world as well.
Yeah, we play high risk football. We play counter pressing. You know, it's just high risk. And if you go and play that high risk, you go and concede a few chances. It's because, and once this team learns to press completely, I keep saying this, you go back to Liverpool's best team under Jurgen Klopp. The midfield was Milner, Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Gini Wijnaldum and Fabinho. That was Liverpool's best midfield under Jurgen Klopp. And that the reason it was so good, because them players knew this system like the back of their hand. And because they knew the counter-pressing system like the back of their hand, we didn't commit that many chances. You know, and then the same midfield was still here last year. But the difference was they couldn't do the counter-press no more. Because they couldn't do the counter-press no more because their legs were gone and their brains were fried. That's why we conceded chances. It's about the system. This system we play, Jurgen Klopp plays, is extremely difficult system to play because only one player has got to mess up in the press and you let everything in behind you. So it's high risk, high reward, isn't it? That's the way we play, man.
And the reward is high because we're top of the table.
Yeah.
And we've got a Europa game tomorrow, which we've already qualified for. And some of the teams that we could get in the Europa League, I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of anyone.
I'm not saying Klopp said no to him, but do you think Caicedo can play in the lone six? Because I don't.
No.
It's been
I still think Caicedo's better than Endo, though, by the way.
Yeah, of course he is. He's far better.
And so's Lavia, by the way. Unfortunately, Wendo's great, but stuff in there both better than him.
I don't think Caicedo can play the lone six. He's getting swamped at Chelsea playing the lone six. Can't do it. He hasn't got the legs to get around the pitch. You know what made Caicedo? Look, in fact, if we did get Caicedo, if we did do this properly, I actually think Caicedo would be a success at Liverpool because he'll have the player next to him that made him look good at Brighton. Simple as that. McAllister was the key to how good Caicedo was.
That was what made me think they're both plug and play. We'd be absolutely sensational with them.
I think that was Billy Hogan's idea. We got McAllister, and he looked at the fact that Caicedo and McAllister are a great partnership at Brighton, and Chelsea just came in for him again. They said no, and he saw an opportunity. Billy Hogan saw a window. So I'll give Billy Hogan all the credit in the world. He saw a window where he thought, right, Chelsea got him for him. They said no, I'm just going to go out bid Chelsea. And Brighton said yes. But the problem is, Billy Hogan did it so quickly, he never gave us a chance to talk to the player. If he spoke to the player first, if he just spoke to Caicedo first, we would have had Caicedo at Liverpool right now.
I also think we got a bit duped by his agents because there was all kinds of dodgy stuff going on with Chelsea. Yeah. The thing about it as well is what annoyed me the most is if we'd have gone for Caicedo and McAllister as a pair, we probably could have got them cheaper. We could have threw a package in where we were going to get those two. They were going to get Milner. They were going to get maybe another player. Like it could have all been done really quickly. And then the start of the season when we just signed McAllister like that, it would have been McAllister and Caicedo, like as a package. And then they could have been integrated at the same time, and we'd still be top.
Yeah. Like Hitler says, at the time of the Caicedo debacle, John Henry had a video call meeting with Billy Hogan and our Liverpool reps and was supposed to be fuming and was telling them to get the deal done. Yeah, that's why John W. Henry came to the Liverpool-Chelsea game, wasn't it? It's because he came to a Liverpool game, didn't he, in London to meet because he was pissed off that Liverpool didn't get Caicedo done. So, yeah.
West Ham.
Yeah, we're not good at controlling games because of the system and the new players. Give these players time, man. I'm telling you, next season, I think what's happening is here, Liverpool are a year above schedule. Liverpool are ahead of schedule, far ahead of schedule. And these players haven't got used to it yet. Well, Arsenal did. Everyone forgets, yeah. Arteta took over Arsenal when Arsenal were at their deadest, at their worst, yeah. So Arteta has had 4 years to build this Arsenal team up behind the scenes and get these players all playing together. Yeah, so they're a young team, been playing together now for about 3 years, and they're getting used to each other and they're getting used to the system that Arteta wants to play and all that. So they're controlling games better. It's the same with Liverpool, with their team. You know, it'd be the same with this Liverpool team now. It's just Endo, McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch are brand new out of the box. They got it.
Season.
It'll take them next year. We will control games of football miles better next season because they would have had 12 months, the same way as the Arsenal boys have had 2 years under Arteta playing this way, are now used to playing that way. So they can counter press and stuff like that because they know the role that Arteta wants them to play. Our boys don't right now. That's why I'm saying we're a year above schedule. Next year, these guys will be even better.
Think about it as well. Like this is literally the rebuild for Klopp. Like last year wasn't the transition. This year's the transition, and we're top of the league. Like we're title contenders. Like we possibly win the Europa League. Arteta was shit at Arsenal when he started transitioning his team. He was finishing like 8th and 7th and 6th. He's lucky to still be in a job. Like when he fell out of 4th position, not last year, the year before. So we are miles ahead of schedule. And if this is what we're doing with the transition, can you imagine when we add a few more players and everybody gels? Like that dynasty that we talk about of Klopp having that dynasty with Liverpool where we go on and win a couple of league titles back to back. This could be the team to do it. If we are that good now in the transition, it really bodes well for us, especially when most of the players are in that age where they haven't hit peak. There's still like a year or two before peak.
That's what I'm saying,
Trent hasn't even hit peak yet. He's
Yeah, exactly.
24.
It's what I keep saying. We're a year ahead of schedule.
Madness.
Relax says, Jamie, you're talking rubbish. We don't play with two holders. I know we don't. I said we should do. I didn't say we did. I said we should play with two holders. We should play a double pivot. That is what I said. I said we don't at the moment. I said we should play with a double pivot. That's what we should do. I said we got the players to play, for me, a double pivot, but we don't. We play with a lone six. So that's what I said. Relax. You might not have heard me correctly.
Relax.
And relax. Also, that's what I said. Brighton played with two holders when they were defending. Exactly. That's why I said if we got Caicedo, you got a perfect partnership with McAllister next to him. Caicedo don't play as a six right now on his own. Right now at Chelsea, he's playing as a lone six, and it don't work. Liverpool play with a lone six, and Caicedo wouldn't play well in a lone six. But if you play him alongside McAllister, like they did at Brighton, that will cook. That's what I was saying, man. So I wasn't saying that we did any of that.
Calvin Phillips finally got a game.
Is he playing for Celtic in a nothing match?
He's playing away for against Red Star Belgrade. Calvin Phillips finally got a game.
So John Henry was mad that they weren't spending the money. Yeah, I've been saying this time, man.
Keep it levels. Just wrote that as well, and I believe that is true.
What's that?
I believe that is something that's going to happen soon.
What's that?
Canate, Trent, and Salah are about to sign new deals. Apparently, Salah's going to sign a two-year extension.
Yeah, I saw that Canate was going to sign no deal, and which I was a bit shocked at, to be fair, but is what it is. Yeah, the others need. Who else was it?
Trent.
Is it true that Canate, Trent, and Salah are about to sign no deals? So I heard the rumours about Canate. I think Trent will sign a new deal. I think Trent will go probably up to $200,000 a week, and Salah. I think it's a weird one with Salah. I think Salah will get a year extra on what he's got already, so they give him another 2 years, something like that, or they give him a 2-year deal, which give him 3 years left at the club. I think even our owners, no matter what people might think, our owners look at Salah as like it's a player we actually can't let go. That's why they signed him to a new deal. You know, when he was, you know, a lot of Liverpool fans thought, oh, FSG are going to let him go because, you know, he's 30 years old now. He's going to be 30 years old, and you probably get enough money for him. They're probably going to let him go now, and he's never going to get that new deal. And then we hear, oh, no, he got £350,000 contract. So I think with Salah, I think with Salah, even our owners are like, they see the benefit of keeping Mo, no matter how much it costs, more than selling him, because Mo brings in money, man. Mo brings money into the club, and we got enough wiggle room in our wages that we can give Mo a new deal as well. Because, you know, I think because Thiago's not going to sign a new deal, so you just take Thiago's wages for him and you give them to Mo. So it opens up.
Absolutely. I've got to shoot, mate. Okay.
No worries, man.
All right, man. Great show. Big up the chat. Someone's just wrote Virgil van Dijk. Don't worry about him, mate. He's already said in the interview he wants to play for Liverpool to the rest of his career. So did Matip, by the way. He said that in the interview as well.
Matip loved Liverpool, but yeah.
But his career might end because of that.
Yeah, that injury.
33 with a knee injury that bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, big up everyone.
See you later,
mate. Bye.
Yeah, like I just don't know what I don't know what Liverpool going to do. I think there's money there. I just think it's about buying the right player. I think that is something Liverpool are very. It is one for you guys. So I know people get annoyed with this whole right player thing, and I understand that. You're right to get annoyed and upset about it, guys. You really are. But in Liverpool can't afford to do what Man City do. They just can't afford it. So Man City can spend £100 million on Jack Grealish, yeah, and then Pep goes and gets Jeremy Doku in to replace Jack Grealish. That's basically what he did. Jeremy Doku came in and took Grealish's position in the team. Liverpool can't afford that. Liverpool have to get transfers correct. They have to do their work and get transfers right. Otherwise, they waste money. And we can't afford to waste money because we've got a budget, and do I want to, it's just weighted. So to get the defensive midfielder we want in, if you're the owners of the football club and you have a budget and you want to get a player in, you want them there for the long term, yeah? You want them there for the long term and you want them to only get better. You don't want them to decrease in quality while they're at your football club. So if they're looking at Paulinha and they're thinking, right, he's going to be 29 next summer. We buy him in now for 70 million this January. It's still a gamble. Everything's a gamble in transfers. It might not pay off. It might pay off. But then he might tail off a little bit and you're seeing nothing back from that deal. And if we don't win anything under Paulinha, you don't see anything back from that deal. And they might feel like there's someone else out there that he can get that's like a Paulinha maybe, but it's like 22, 23, that has got 5 or 6 good years in front of him where that deal pays off. Now, I don't particularly like that. And I know you guys in the chat don't particularly like that because I think everyone nowadays wants instant success, and I get it. And they're not willing to wait and bide their time. I understand that. It's the way of the world now. But it's a difficult one. Yeah. They might also be looking at it and thinking, right, in the new year, you got Thiago back, you got Stefan Bajcetic back, you've got Endo, you've got Szoboszlai, you've got McAllister, you've got Gravenberch, you've got Curtis Jones, and you've got Harvey Elliott. That's 8 midfielders. That's 8 midfielders. So you'd need someone to leave. If you go and buy DM, that's 9 midfielders. And we only play with 3. That's a lot of midfielders in that position. So they might be thinking of it like, we've got a good base here. We're doing well at the moment. McAllister, people don't like him in the 6, but Klopp don't seem to mind him there. Gravenberch is doing well in spit and spells. Szoboszlai's doing well. Curtis Jones is having a good season. Harvey Elliott's having a good season. And if you got someone like Thiago coming back in the new year, that's going to be a big plus to Klopp because he loves Thiago. He'll see game time. And then if Stefan Bajcetic comes back in the new year and can stay fit as well, Klopp's going to be looking at him like, we already know from the football club that this football club doesn't want to block the path for Stefan Bajcetic. They see him as the main DM. I think they see him as the main guy. I think they're looking at Stefan Bajcetic and looking at him as the main guy that plays DM for Liverpool Football Club. That's in my opinion, because they wouldn't keep coming out with stuff in the press game. We don't want to block pathways. We don't want to block pathways to Stefan. So that's a lot of midfielders coming back. It's an interesting one. But Paulinha, look, 70 million for him is a lot of money, man. In my opinion, Liverpool should have done their due diligence a lot earlier. They should have done their due diligence a lot earlier. This is where I do complain about FSG. This is when I am complaining about the ownership. They should have noticed that Fabinho was on the downturn 18 months before Fabinho left. So they should have been scouting. They should have gone and got Paulinha before Fulham bought him. Why weren't we scouting Paulinha before Fulham bought him? Did we not? Were we scouting him and we just didn't think he was good enough? What was the reason that we didn't go after that kind of player? Why can't we get players in on full sight? That's the thing. I mean, I said it 2 years ago on my channel. I said it in like late 2022 that Fabinho's on the downturn. You can see it. It's physically there to see. Even in the quadruple year when we won the 2 domestic cups, you could still see Fabinho weren't quite as good as he was the year before. There was something happening there. And as that season went on, Fabinho started to decline a little bit. And then last season, full decline. And if you watch him in Saudi at the moment, the decline is keeping going. So there's definitely a decline in his game. We didn't have Liverpool should have had the foresight to see that's going to happen eventually. Man City did. Man City had Fernandinho as their DM. He was rock solid for years. Absolutely rock solid. But they went and bought Rodri. And Rodri didn't play. Fernandinho still played. And Rodri came in every now and then. And then at times they played Rodri and Fernandinho together. And then eventually Fernandinho left and Rodri took over. And then that was happening. That's how Liverpool should act a little bit more. And Rodri wasn't that expensive either. He wasn't a massive transfer fee. In fact, he was cheaper than Paulinha is now. You know, when he like 50-something million or 40-something million. He wasn't the most expensive transfer fee. It's just that they had foresight to see that they need to get someone in ready to take over Fernandinho. You know, and I think that's what Liverpool are trying to do. I think Liverpool did try it with Tchouaméni. I literally do. I think Liverpool did try and do it with Tchouaméni, but he chose Real Madrid. But after that, Liverpool should have gone and looked for someone else. Liverpool should have gone and looked for another DM, and we didn't look for another DM. That was it. It was like Tchouaméni or no one. It's like no one else would do. You know, Tchouaméni was available. Liverpool actually tried to make a brilliant offer to Monaco to get him, but Monaco found out Real Madrid had more money, and they put the transfer fee right up, and Real Madrid came in for him. But Liverpool, the problem is with the ownership then, they should have gone, right, Tchouaméni didn't happen, but we definitely need a defensive midfielder. Let's go and find someone else. Who are we scouting? Let's look at the reports. Let's look at the data. Who are we scouting? Who are we looking at? And that's another thing we've got to talk about, guys. We don't know behind the scenes who Liverpool are looking at. We don't know if Liverpool even looked at Paulinha once before he went to Fulham. We don't know if there was data on Paulinha. Were they looking at him ever? Were they scouting him? Were they even scouting him? We don't know. That's questions we should be asking as well. Are we doing enough behind the scenes? Have we got enough data on players where we can go, right, that player is not going to come to us, unfortunately. He chose another club. But here we got plan B because we've been looking at this player on the data. You know, we've got the data, we've got the analysis, we've got the scouting reports about him. He's our plan B if plan A don't work. Do we do that behind the scenes? Or is it everything just plan A all the time? You know, is it always plan A? We don't know. You know, were they I think they were scouting Endo. If you listen to Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool tried to sign Wataru Endo 3 years ago. If they were trying to sign Wataru Endo 3 years ago, that tells you that they were scouting and looking at Wataru Endo for the last 3 years. So he was on their data. So when Liverpool couldn't buy so-and-so this summer, like an Andre or anything like that, they went down on the list on who they got and who they scouted at and the data and analytics and analysis of players they got. And Wataru Endo was there and they went and picked him up. It's one of the only times Liverpool have got their plan B. Go back in the last few years and look at the times Liverpool have actually gone and got their plan B instead of not buying anyone. When they usually can't get anyone in, they don't buy anyone. This time, they couldn't get the DM they wanted. They wanted Caicedo, they wanted Lavia, and they didn't work. So they needed a plan B. Plan B was Endo, and they went and got him in. They didn't not sign someone. So maybe they got to do that more. Big up, my man. Check out this player's release clause. Yet they think that we should put up a bid. Who are we chatting about there, Mantra? Let me know you're chatting about, man. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. That's why I want to get a centre back in. That's my main concern. If Canate and Gomez weren't injury prone, I wouldn't be worried about the centre back position with Matip injured because you've got 4 centre backs there. In all honesty, if your team has got 4 fit centre backs, you shouldn't really be worried about getting a 5th centre back in if one of them gets injured. But because Canate and Gomez are injury prone, and there's a massive possibility that they can get injured on the same day, then you've only got 2 left. So that is why I would actually go into the market for a centre back more than I would a DM this January, because as I said, the DM position, you know, we've got 8 midfielders. You know, we've got 8 midfielders. It's just Klopp might see it that Stefan can play. When Stefan's fit, he can play DM. When Thiago's fit, he can probably play in there as well. He's got Trent who can play alongside because Trent inverts. We've got to remember that. Now Trent inverts. Trent is basically like another defensive midfielder. You got McAllister who can play. You got Wataru Endo who can play there. So Klopp might be thinking, I've got enough. But what I haven't got enough of is maybe a centre back, because if Canate and Gomez get injured, there's a massive possibility, touch wood, but there's a massive possibility that it can happen that they both get injured at the same time. It's a possibility. Then you're down on 2. So that's why I'd rather go and get a centre back in. Desperately go and get a centre back. They wanted Endo 3 years ago, but the owners didn't. You know, Klopp said it in a press conference. He tried to get Wataru Endo 3 years ago, but the owners were against it. They didn't want him to come. And he had to plead with the owners this summer to go and get Endo in. So it's obviously someone they've been looking at for a long time, but the owners weren't too sure on him. Big up Psychedelic. And I can only say what Klopp says as well. Everything I'm saying here, I've heard come out of Klopp's mouth. So when Klopp says something and he says these things in press conferences and interviews and sit-down interviews, and he's come out of his actual mouth, that's what I'm telling you guys. So, you know, if people don't believe me, don't believe the manager either, because he says these things. You know, but yeah, I just feel like we need a centre back. Oh right, yeah. Oh, is that the geezer from? Oh, where's he from? Isn't he out of contract? Is he the Barcelona player? Is it the Barcelona player? He's out of contract, isn't he? Mantra? Is he out of contract? This coming up. He's got a year left, I think. Yeah, I agree. Paulinha was 23, I think, to sign him. But then you got to ask yourself a question, Boom Boom, why Liverpool weren't looking at him before he went to Fulham. When did he go to Fulham? He's been at Fulham 2 seasons now, ain't he? So maybe they thought he was too old. Now, how old was Paulinha when he went to Fulham, guys? 26? Was he 26? So maybe he was just at that age range where Liverpool were looking at, and that's why they never went for him then. Maybe. I'm not sure. Because if they're moaning about... Because when Klopp said he tried to buy Wataru Endo 3 years ago when he was 27, and the owners didn't want to buy him because he was too old, that's what Klopp laughed at in his press conference, then maybe that's why we weren't looking at Paulinha before he went to Fulham. Maybe that's why. I'm not sure, man. It is a centre back of our luck. We need get a centre back with our luck. We need one. Yeah, I think a centre back. We only get a centre. I wouldn't be worried. It wouldn't bother me. I know a lot of other people would be upset about it. Would be bothered by it. Would be crying and bitching that we didn't get a DM. But Liverpool Klopp might be looking at it and thinking, I've got DMs at my football club already. You know, Wataru Endo, people might not rate him, but he's a DM. Stefan Bajcetic is a DM as well. So that's 2 defensive midfielders there. You know, Trent inverts. This is one thing we've got to remember. The big thing is that Trent inverts. And when Trent inverts, he goes into that sort of DM position. Deep lying midfielder position. So if he's playing there, you got him inverting, then you got a McAllister who can play defensively, you got Endo who can play defensively, you got Stefan who can play defensively, you got Thiago who can play defensively. Then you've got your more attacking midfielders in Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones. So maybe Klopp's thinking, I've got enough for this season. We'll look at that next summer now. But I desperately need a centre-back because I don't trust the fitness of Konate and Gomez. Maybe thinking that. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because if you look on it, Liverpool got 8 midfielders. When they're all fit and firing in the new year, Liverpool got 8 midfielders, which is more than enough. You know, I'm going to be like around the Arsenal FA Cup game. Thiago will probably play in that game. That might be Thiago's first game back against Arsenal in the FA Cup. And then you're looking at a midfield of like Thiago, Endo, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, Steven Bajcetic. It's 8 midfielders. We only play with 3. So Klopp might feel he's got enough there. It's interesting. I don't know what the club's thinking. I don't know what Jurgen's thinking. There's too many people. Like, the problem with our fan base right now is that they all think they know what Klopp's thinking. This is the thing that drives me mad. They're all like, it's a guarantee. Get Paulinha in, we win the league. What if we don't? Why is everyone guaranteeing it? I don't get it. We've had better teams, and we still not won the Premier League. You know, we have Fabinho, who everyone called world class in his day, a world class defensive midfielder. We only won 1 Premier League. We didn't go on to keep winning Premier Leagues. You know, nothing's a guarantee. I don't understand why people are so like, get him in, it's done. Get him in and it's done. You know, it's not like that, is it? And if it don't happen, who are you blaming? No one, because there's no one to blame. There's no one to blame. No one to blame. These things happen. Big up Edmund says Paulinha could sign a 5-year deal. Yeah. I agree, Edmund. I do agree with that. Like, I do think Liverpool get Paulinha would make us better. Of course it will. Any players coming into the football club, if they're good enough, will make you better. This is the thing. But I think he's going to be 29 next summer. I don't know. I just don't know. You know, I really don't know. I don't know what the club are thinking. My starting midfield against United. Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, and Endo. I would say. I would say, unless he takes a chance on Gravenberch and Curtis Jones and Szoboszlai, and he plays Gravenberch as the deeper player. I'm not sure, but I think with Tyro Endo is pretty much guaranteed to play against United, and then because it's Manchester United, I think he'll play Curtis Jones because of who we're playing. I think he'll play Curtis Jones, and then he'll play Szoboszlai. I think Szoboszlai is guaranteed. I think Wataru Endu's guaranteed. And then it's just if it's Gravenberch or Szoboszlai. Gravenberch or Curtis Jones. But I think it might be Curtis Jones. Fabinho blew up in Klopp's system at 29. Paulinha could do likewise. It's a very demanding role. It is, man. That lone 6 is... This is what I'm saying. That lone 6 is a hard thing to do if you're in Jurgen Klopp's system. It really is. That's why I'm saying with the Caicedo thing, I look at Caicedo at Chelsea. For me, he can't play the lone 6. He's struggling. But then, would Liverpool play a double pivot if he came to Liverpool? Would they put him, or would he have to play the lone 6 even if McAllister is there? Would he have to play the lone 6 and Klopp pushes McAllister further up the pitch? I still think Caicedo. I still think we can see chances like we do now. I really do. I literally think we would still concede chances like we do. We conceded chances with a DM before. People just forget that. No, Fabinho, we still conceded chances with Fabinho. It's just the way we play. You know, we're just a year above schedule. That's all it is, guys. That's why we're getting a bit carried away. We're getting a bit excited because where we are in the league, and we're looking at it and thinking we've got a massive chance to do something special this year. So let's go and get A, B, and C. I understand it. I think Liverpool will go do something special this year. I think Liverpool can do something this year. I think the League Cup is a big possibility. I think the Europa League's a big possibility. And I look at the Premier League right now, and I think the Premier League is up for grabs. I really do. So I understand what everyone in the chat is saying about the Paulinha stuff and get this player in, that player in. All I'm saying is, guys, it's not a guarantee. You know, we can't guarantee it'll happen, but it will make us better because good players come to our football club, make us a better team. There's no doubt about that. But nothing's a guarantee in life. It's just, I think we're a year above schedule. I really do. If we were fourth in the league right now, I don't think we'd be like. I think most fans would be like, "Yeah, this is probably where we should be because we've got this brand new midfield. You know, we're getting it all back. We're playing Thursday nights and Sundays. It's awkward, and yeah, we'll be better next year. What we're doing good is good progress right now, and we'll be back. But because Liverpool are such ahead of schedule, even Klopp has said it himself. He's taken surprised by how well we're doing. Then we're all getting a bit giddy. We're all getting a bit excited. So I don't blame anyone. I really don't. I don't blame anyone. Big up, Jamie. Is it true that is it true, Jamie? One of the partners in Liverpool FC owners, Fenway Sports Group, have acquired a 12.5% stake in French giants PSG. I think it is. You know, I've read somewhere a while ago, Mike, that someone in the FSG board bought a percentage stake in PSG. Because we've got to remember that. Mike, where did you hear it? Let me know where you heard it, because I read it somewhere about a month ago about this. I never brought it up because I didn't know if it was worth bringing up. But what we got to remember is that FSG, and they're like 23 guys or people, whoever. I think it's 23 people that work for FSG. There's 23 board members, and not all them board members run Liverpool Football Club or any of the other things. So they're free to put stakes into other clubs if they want to. So yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I was reading it somewhere. It's like if you work for FSG, you don't mean you work for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? It means if you want to put your money into PSG, you're allowed to, because that person who runs FSG probably don't run Liverpool, so they're allowed to do that sort of thing. I read it somewhere. Alexander says it's true. Keatley said, I heard that at the time, Jamie. You said it would be Qatar buying a stake in Liverpool. Yeah. There's something, because I was reading something this morning as well, saying that something about a Qatari businessman has put in a percentage, has got like a 5% stake in Liverpool now or something like that as well. So there's obviously something going on behind the scenes, something else going on behind the scenes. But yeah. So let me know where you read it, Michael. If you're still watching, let me know where you read it from, man. Yeah, better. One of the partners of Liverpool FC owners, Fenway Sports Group. So it's one of the partners of FSG has acquired a 12.5% stake in PSG. Don't know, man. I mean, they're business people at the end of the day, so they probably have stakes in lots of different things, as Alexander says here. They're business people, man. They probably have a lot of stakes in other things as well. It's interesting. It's interesting. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're gonna leave it there, guys. Big up to everyone. Thanks for joining me. Good debates, good chat. I love these Liverpool chats, guys. At the end of the day, to wrap this all up, you know, Liverpool top of the Premier League right now. They're going quite nicely. They're in the last 16 of the Europa League. We don't play that till March because we get a bye. We got a quarter-final game against West Ham next week at home in the League Cup. We win that. We're in the semi-finals of the League Cup. We've got an FA Cup third round on the 6th of January against Arsenal. We got Man United this Sunday. We got Arsenal 2 days before Christmas. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited, man. I don't know about you guys in the chat, but I'm really excited how this season's going to go. I'm really interested in how this season's going to go. I know in January you've got the African Cup of Nations. Everyone's a bit worried about Salah missing games, but I don't know if Egypt are good enough to get to. I don't think Egypt will go all the way like they did in the last AFCON. They're nowhere near as good as they were 2 years ago. So if say Egypt get to the quarterfinals, because of the winter break, Salah probably will only miss 2 Premier League games. So we can make do by then. It's exciting times, man. Yeah, we're not in. It's the last 16 because we finished top of the group. You're in. Because we finished top of the group, you go straight to the last 16. The teams that finished runners up go to the last 32. So it's interesting, man. It's interesting. I'm well excited for this season. I can't lie. I think something special will happen. I think something special. Yeah, Mike, just DM me the thing, man, and I'll have a read through it and maybe talk about it in the next video. Big up, Frank. Hope you're doing well, man. FSG want to hold every sporting franchise. Yeah, why not, man? Why not? You know, if I had that money, I'd love to do the same thing. To be fair, I agree. We don't need a midfielder. A defender maybe, but I heard Phillips might be back as well. Yeah, apparently. Big up, man. Yeah, exactly. Let's have a bit of positivity right now. Let's not get so down in the dumps about the transfer window coming up and who we go buy and not go buy and blaming that person and blaming that person. Let's just have a bit of positivity right now. We're top of the league, top of the Europa group. We're going in the last 16 of the Europa League. We could finish top of the league at Christmas. We could be top of the league for Christmas. We've got 2 massive games coming up in the Premier League. We've got a quarter-final against West Ham in the League Cup. It's a good time. Let's be happy. Let's enjoy it, you know? That's it. Keep it level. That's the name. I'll read about it and I'll chat about it in the next video, guys. We'll have a chat about it in the next video. Big up, Reds. Big up to all you guys. Enjoy your evening, whatever it is you're doing. Much love to everyone. As always, thank you for being here. I'm going to go and eat some dinner now and maybe watch a bit of the footy. Guys, I will do, Frank. No worries. Big up, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.